Today is not just another day. This is a divine moment, a sacred alignment that heaven orchestrated before you even opened your eyes. And no, you're not here by accident. You were led here. Pulled by something greater, something deeper, something higher. It wasn't a scroll, a tap, or a suggestion. It was purpose. God whispered your name and said, "This is the moment they need to hear this." And so here you are, standing at the edge of something new, something powerful, something holy. Archangel Michael says, "Listen closely. You've been walking with weight, smiling on the outside but breaking quietly on the inside, holding it together for everyone else while no one holds space for your own healing. I see you. Heaven sees you. And I've been fighting in the unseen just for this very second, because something in you is waking up. You're not meant to stay stuck. You're not built to carry pain forever. There is a divine exchange about to happen. Sorrow for joy, worry for wisdom, wounds for wisdom. Let that truth settle. You have cried quietly. You have questioned if anyone even hears you. You've sat in rooms full of people and still felt alone. You've looked strong to the world but felt fragile in the dark. But Archangel Michael says this: enough. The time for hiding your pain has come to an end. It's time to rise. It's time to breathe again. It's time to believe again. Because the next chapter doesn't require the chains of the last one. Take a deep breath now. Feel that? That's the beginning of breakthrough. Not outside of you, but within. That's the shift. That's the presence. That's heaven leaning close. And right here, right now, I invite you to pray with me, not as routine, but as revival, not with empty words, but with a soul ready to be filled. Let's pray together. Dear God, I come to you not pretending to be perfect, but presenting my heart just as it is, wounded, worn, hopeful, healing. I don't need to impress you with big words. You already know every part of me. You see my struggle. You hear my unspoken prayers. You count every tear, even the ones I hide behind my strength. So I lay it all down at your feet today. Every doubt, every burden, every fear that wakes me in the night. God, I give you my control. I give you my timeline. I give you the version of me that's just surviving. And I ask you, in return, to give me peace. Give me direction. Give me clarity where confusion has lived for far too long. Wrap me in your grace today, Lord. Remind me that I am not forgotten. Let your Spirit interrupt my thoughts when they try to spiral into negativity. Let your presence go before me in every room I enter. Be my calm when chaos comes. Be my whisper when the world shouts. Be my strength when I'm tired of being strong. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds me, and that's enough. Amen. Now pause for a moment. Let that prayer sit in your chest like warm light. Because God heard you, He always hears you. Even when you think the heavens are silent, your faith is still echoing in spiritual places. Sometimes the delay is not denial, it's preparation. What if the answer you're waiting for is becoming better while you're becoming stronger? What if the not yet is really a just wait? I've got something greater. What if everything that felt like rejection was really redirection? Archangel Michael says, "You've asked for signs. You've whispered, 'God, please show me if you're still with me.' This right now is your sign. I've been positioned beside you, guarding your promise, battling thoughts that tried to crush you, pushing back darkness that tried to steal your light. And I'm here to remind you, you are not losing. You are learning. You are not breaking. You are blooming. So speak this out loud with me now. I am not behind. I am exactly where I need to be for what God is preparing for me. I choose to trust even when the path is unclear, because my faith is stronger than my fear. I am growing in silence, healing in private, and soon I will bloom in public. Everything meant for my harm is being transformed for my good. I am divinely protected, spiritually guided, and eternally loved. Say them again. Let them hit your soul like thunder wrapped in love. Let your doubt shake and fall apart under the power of these truths. You are not a victim of life. You are a vessel for destiny. And God hasn't forgotten you for 1 second. He saw you standing in that grocery aisle, wondering how you'd afford the next bill. He saw you sit in silence when your heart was screaming. He heard the "God, why me?" you whispered in the dark. He saw the text you typed and deleted, the prayers you started but didn't finish, the strength you gave others while no one asked how you were really doing. And He sent this message as a divine interruption. You are more than a mistake, more than your past, more than your trauma, more than what they said about you, more than what didn't happen for you. You are chosen, called, covered, and climbing. There is a blessing with your name on it. It is not late, it is on time. And the reason it hasn't come yet is because you're still being shaped to carry it. The weight of your destiny cannot rest on fragile identity. That's why heaven has been rebuilding you quietly. You may not see it, but you are being strengthened for something massive. Your name is already in rooms your feet haven't entered. People are already thinking of you for opportunities you didn't even know existed. Favor is forming like clouds preparing to rain. So what do you do now? You keep walking, you keep praying, you keep trusting, you keep becoming. You don't let the past convince you it has more power than your future. You don't wait for approval to feel worthy. You don't let fear speak louder than faith, because everything you've been through, it didn't break you. It built you. You are still here. And the fact that you're breathing is evidence that your story isn't over. No matter what the enemy tried to convince you, God's pen is still writing. You are stepping into a sacred alignment. The waiting you've endured is not wasted. It's been preparation. Every delay you couldn't explain, every not yet that felt like a denial, every closed door that left you disappointed, all of it was heaven's way of redirecting you into something greater than what you were even asking for. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection. You were never being ignored, you were being protected. Sometimes the unanswered prayers are the loudest forms of love. Archangel Michael says, "I've stood between you and battles that could have crushed you. I've been assigned to your path not to make it easy, but to make it possible." You don't even know how many attacks you've already survived, because heaven fought for you in silence. There is a reason you feel spiritual pressure lately. That's because the blessing is near. The moment of shift is right in front of you. That's why the enemy's distractions have increased. But don't give in. You're too close now. You are not being broken, you're being built. Not overlooked, but overprepared. Not forgotten, but forged in fire. The version of you who cried themselves to sleep is not the same person who is rising today. You may still carry the scars, but you also carry the strength. And that strength didn't come from comfort, it came from the nights you showed up for yourself when no one else did. From the mornings you whispered, "God, help me with shaky faith but unshakable hope." You have been becoming, quietly, bravely, powerfully. God has not brought you this far just to leave you here. He didn't save you from the pit only to abandon you before the promise. He's been shaping your character, strengthening your patience, sharpening your discernment, all for this. You asked for favor, and God said yes, but favor requires foundation. And now that foundation is firm. You may still feel unsure, you may still feel unqualified, but guess what? Most people who are chosen never feel ready, because they weren't called for comfort, they were called for courage. And courage begins when excuses. You have cried enough. You have second-guessed yourself long enough. You have apologized for being too much or not enough. Now it's time to rise. Not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned. Everything that once worked against you is about to start working for you. That's what divine reversal looks like. The stone they rolled in front of your purpose is being moved. You're entering a season where the breakthrough will be louder than the breakdown, where the testimony will outshine the tears, where the blessing will silence the lies. Don't doubt it. Don't talk yourself out of it. You're not here to just survive, you're here to thrive. This is not the end of your story, it's the turning point. That invisible pressure you feel, that's the atmosphere shifting in your favor. That sudden pull to pray again, trust again, dream again, that's heaven whispering, don't give up now. You're closer than you've ever been. So stand tall today, even if your knees are shaky. Walk forward, even if the path still looks uncertain. Open your heart, even if it's still healing. Because the miracle isn't coming, it's already moving toward you. There comes a moment in every life when you feel the ground beneath you shift, not because something outside has changed, but because something inside you refuses to stay the same. You reach that invisible line where you can no longer accept a life lived on autopilot. You're done surviving, you're done shrinking, you're done waiting for someone else to hand you permission to rise. This is that moment for you. Not because of what the world says, not because the odds have suddenly changed, but because you have changed. Quietly, gradually, fiercely. The same pain that once weakened you has become the fuel that now drives you. The same storms that almost broke you taught you how to anchor deeper. You're not who you were, and you should never apologize for that. Some people will try to pull you back into the version of yourself that felt safe to them. But you are not responsible for staying small to make others comfortable. You are responsible for honoring the fire in your soul, the one that whispers, "You were made for more." You see, greatness never begins with certainty. It begins with decision. The decision to keep going when nothing makes sense. The decision to wake up and show up, even when no one is clapping. The decision to keep building, even when no one sees what you're creating. Most people quit in the silence. Most people fold in the dark. But not you. You kept going, and that alone makes you rare. You've cried behind closed doors and smiled in public. You've given without receiving. You've supported others even when your own world felt like it was crumbling. You've walked through seasons where it felt like no one truly saw your struggle, and yet you kept standing. And that strength, that resilience, that's your superpower. People often underestimate the power of someone who's tired of being tired, because once you decide you've had enough of fear, enough of doubt, enough of mediocrity, you become unstoppable. You stop begging for validation. You stop living for applause. You stop chasing perfection, and you start moving from purpose. Here's what they don't tell you. Transformation is uncomfortable. Growth is messy. It won't look graceful. You'll lose people. You'll question everything. You'll outgrow your surroundings before your surroundings catch up to your new vision. That's the cost of change, but don't let that shake you. The pain of growth is always smaller than the pain of regret. And if you've ever wondered why your life has felt like a constant uphill battle, consider this. Maybe it's because you're carrying a weight that's not just yours. Maybe you've been chosen to break cycles that have existed in your family for generations. Maybe you're not just fighting for your success. Maybe you're fighting for your children's peace, your legacy's strength, your future's freedom. And that fight? It's holy, it's necessary, it's worth every scar. You are not behind, you are not late, you are becoming. And while it may feel like others are sprinting ahead, remember, timing is divine. Some flowers bloom in spring, others in winter, and yet both are beautiful. So trust that your process is unfolding exactly as it should. You haven't missed your moment. You're maturing into it. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, whispering, "Who are you to dream this big? Who are you to try again?" And in those moments, you must respond not with fear, but with fire. Remind yourself of every obstacle you've already overcome. Every night you didn't think you'd survive, but did. Every silent victory no one else clapped for, but you earned. You're not fragile, you're forged. You're not average, you're anointed. You're not forgotten, you're focused. And what's ahead of you is not just more, it's better. Better alignment, better relationships, better peace. Not because life suddenly became easy, but because you finally stopped settling. You finally started listening to the quiet truth inside you that said, "I was not born for mediocrity." And now everything is shifting. Not all at once, not in some dramatic explosion, but in small sacred ways. Your mindset is shifting. Your energy is shifting. Your habits are shifting. And as those things move, your reality begins to move too. Because change isn't a destination, it's a daily decision. And you're deciding well. You don't need anyone to save you. You're not waiting for a hero. You're learning that the hero was always you, hidden beneath layers of fear and insecurity. But now that veil is lifting. Now the voice of truth is louder than the voice of fear. And now you're becoming dangerous to everything that once tried to destroy you. Don't underestimate how far you've come. Don't ignore how much you've grown. Don't rush through this moment just because it doesn't yet look like the miracle you imagined. Sometimes becoming who you were meant to be requires walking through seasons where nothing makes sense, but everything is being aligned behind the scenes. And sometimes it's in the silence that the greatest progress is made. So take a breath, exhale the pressure, inhale the promise. You are not a mistake. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are right on time for everything God has called you to be. This isn't your ending, it's your unveiling. And very soon the world will see what heaven already knows. That you are stronger than ever, more ready than you realize, and perfectly positioned for the breakthrough that's been chasing you for years. There's something powerful that happens when you stop waiting for the perfect time. When you stop waiting for everything to line up before you take that first step. The truth is, the breakthrough doesn't always arrive in a flash of lightning or a dramatic sign from the sky. Sometimes it comes as a quiet resolve in your spirit, the decision to rise even when it still hurts, the choice to move forward even when you're still uncertain. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. You just need to stop shrinking every time life gets loud. You weren't made to live beneath your circumstances. You were made to grow through them. The pain you've faced, the delays you've endured, the closed doors that made you question everything. None of it was wasted. Not one tear. Not one setback. They were all shaping you, molding you, preparing you for a version of yourself that could never be built in comfort, because comfort never changed anyone. It's the resistance that builds your strength. It's the silence that reveals your voice. It's the loneliness that teaches you how to carry yourself when no one else shows up. And you've learned that, not in theory, but in reality. You've walked through nights where all you had was your faith and your breath. And you made it through. That's why you must keep going. Because you are not the same as you once were. You're not fragile like you used to be. You don't break the way you used to. You've been through storms that others don't even know about, and you've come out with scars, yes, but also with strength. And that strength? That's not temporary. That's eternal. That's earned. Don't let a bad moment convince you that you have a bad life. Don't let the opinions of the small-minded become the compass for your purpose. You weren't made to be average. You weren't made to be quiet. You were made to stand in the fire and come out shining, to speak when it's hard, to love when it's risky, to to rise when it feels impossible. So if you're tired, rest, but don't you quit. If you're afraid, breathe, but don't you freeze. If you're doubting, pause, but don't you walk away. Because this is not the end. This is the edge of your new beginning. And what's coming next will not match what you've seen before. You've paid the price in silence. Now you will rise in power. Keep moving, keep believing, keep becoming. Your time is no longer coming, it's already begun.